if you're doing what you're meant to be doing and you love what you do, like everything just falls into place.
Yeah.
Like,
can you tell us a little bit about Shark Tank?
Shark Tank!
Airing May 5th
theme song.
Dun, dun, dun. Airing May 5th.
May 5th. Cinco de Sharko.
Mayo.
Even as the entrepreneur that I am, I was like, whatever, like one of 45,000, like there's no way that like I would make it on. But like, shit, all right, let's try.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stand up, girl.
Not break the microphone.
Hey, what's up? I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree.
And we're just a couple of Vegas girls.
Living the not so Vegas life.
Yeah, but we're not regular Vegas girls.
We're cool Vegas girls. Kinda.
And this is the Keeping It Casual podcast,
Where we talk about everything and nothing all at once. Let's do it.
I like when you saying it out.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love that stupid movie.
Mom calls.
Mom, I'm doing a podcast.
Mom,
busy.
get the meatloaf.
Mom!
The meatloaf. All right.
All right, guys, so another episode of Keeping It Casual by the Fire Pit.
What's up, guys?
Oh, hey.
Hey. I don't know, the deep voice keeps coming.
Oh, I love it.
That's okay. Whatevs. I wonder if our listeners are like, who the fuck is this third voice right now?
well-
So let's introduce.
Yes, well, last week we teased.
I like to be mysterious.
Yeah. We're
We
just not gonna tell
teased.
you the
We were
whole
like,
time.
we have a badass female entrepreneur coming
That's
on.
good.
Yes.
Yes, we were
Sweet.
teasing it. We were like, just you wait, guys. And now the waiting is over.
She's legit. She's like
legit.
Straight legit.
Too legit to quit. some would
Legit
argue.
dope.
Yeah. She's so dope. She's the dopest
Oh,
chick
man.
I've ever met.
Here we go.
I thought we was dope.
And we want to welcome to
That's
Keeping It
awesome.
Casual, Kelsey Witherow from Eat Dope, Legit Cookie Dough. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the founder and fearless leader over at Doughp, and we serve edible cookie dough. So we're making cookie dough that you can enjoy. No one will slap your wrist.
Shame-free.
Totally shame-free.
No salmonella.
Guiltless pleasure is what I like to call it. So it's eggless, and we heat treat all of our flour. We dish it up in San Francisco, is where I got started 2 years ago, shockingly.
Oh my God, 2-year
Yes.
anniversary coming up.
We
2-year
saw that
anniversary.
At 420 celebration.
420, it's happening. 420, 2 years. So 420 of 2017, I went out and set up like a little cart at Dolores Park, which is like a really popular park for people to hang out, especially on 420 in San Francisco. And yeah, I brought like 4 flavors, 3 of which we still sell today. So it's awesome to see kind of like the original stuff is really stuck. But yeah, I sold out in like 3 hours, and I was like, dang, people really like cookie dough. How else can I sell this? And then it just spawned from there. I kind of went into like the food park scene for a little bit, selling like in a mobile food setup. And then yeah, I got a brick and mortar on Pier 39 in San Francisco in November of 17. And
Wow, that quick.
yeah.
That's so badass.
Pretty wild. Like literally, every step that I've gotten some awesome opportunity, it's like you kind of have to like puff your chest up and like fake it. Like, of course I could open a store like, you know, Pier
You're
39.
like,
You guys
yeah,
think
I
my
could do it in 3 months. No big deal.
like you think my concept is cool? I totally would love to check that out. I definitely have $100,000. I could do that. And you know, you have none of that in place, but
Exactly.
like you needed that opportunity to come to go and tackle it. So
Yeah.
it's super, super cool. Very surreal. Like a lot of people can't make it through the first year. And I'm like, whoa, we're like 2 years into a food business.
And you've just
rad.
opened your third location.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we have a store like right on the strip. It's super surreal. We're in Miracle Mile Shops. Shout out to like the last free parking on the strip
Right?
for locals that are trying to go.
Hello.
Okay, so fun story. The other night I went out with my friends who are in town from San Francisco, and they are staying at the Paris. So I was like, that's right next door. I'm going to park at Planet Hollywood. And then as I'm like tipsy and walking back, I was like, I think I need some dope before I go home.
That's awesome.
So I did. I stopped and got some Cinnamon, and life was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got the hookup. Like even after hours, we have our dope dealer vending machine
Yes,
in
you
the
have a
front.
vending machine.
Yeah, so if you're like really on that train and you're coming back at like 3 or something, I'd like to help sober people up with some cookie dough. So
Yeah.
Well, and what's cool about the vending machine, you don't just have the cookie dough, you have like waters and sodas and just like you
nostalgic
have everything.
candy too.
Yes, you
like
have
we
the
did like
nostalgic
ring
candies in
pops
there.
and like candy cigarettes and stuff.
I know.
It's so cool.
I would love to take a picture of someone eating candy cigarettes in the casino where like it's just you're choking on cigarette smoke and just
Eating
sit
your
down
dough.
next
Okay.
to some old lady at the slots and
We'll
be
do
like,
it for
What's
you.
up? Yeah, please. That's great.
We will be your old ladies that need to sober up with.
We'll like put curlers in our hair and do it up for you.
That's
okay?
awesome.
That's
I
how
love
we
that.
always go out afterwards. But
Naturally.
yeah, So 3 locations. You had 2 in San Francisco. The one in Vegas just opened up
a month ago.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, we were at media night a month ago.
Rocking and rolling.
It was so good.
Also, a month flies. I'm like, wait, it's been a month. I know that doesn't sound like long, but
And then what's so cool about
crazy.
your shop is like you set it up to where it's like people are not supposed to be on their phone all the time there. Like you have like the fun questions and the games on the tables.
Yeah.
And
we have this weird like balance between making it an obnoxiously awesome Instagram spot.
and it is.
And
a
then
very
being
good
like,
Instagram
also
spot.
take your picture and then really hang out with your friends and like
Yeah.
talk about what's going on in your life. So that's super cool. Yeah, our raw truth cards are on the tables. You can flip
Yeah.
through like, what are you most proud of, or like what scares you the most in life, or there was like a family doing it the other day, and he was asking like all the kids like, name 3 things you love about yourself was one of the cards, and it's
Aw.
like so cool to instill that in children to be like, hey, like remember that there are awesome things about you, and like be
Yeah.
okay talking about them, not shying away from it. So that's super cool. Serving its purpose, like all these little ideas that are like.
And you came
Oh,
up with
it's
most of those questions too,
Yeah.
correct? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Between me and my staff, like I loved sending stuff out like this where I can collect information from all of our employees and like have them be a part of it. So we had like a Google sheet going that was like throw in like prompting questions you think would be
Yeah.
interesting. So we got like Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac. Like not all of them are serious.
Yes.
This is like our getting to
So
know you
there
game.
are
It
some
really
fun
is.
ones too. Yeah, totally.
I was at Old Navy the other day because I needed to buy some shorts and all the shorts were on sale, and I saw a girl in a dope shirt and I was gonna go up to her and be like, "Hey, guess what?" And then I was like, "That's probably pretty weird. I'm gonna stop."
Well, it's like you never know. They could just be like a fan. Like we sell
Yeah,
the
it could be
shirts,
like
too,
a
so they're
fan,
just not an
or it
employee.
could have been like one of your
That's cool.
employees. But I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to assume that's an employee and be like,
Yeah.
"Guess what? I'm interviewing Kelsey in a few days."
Well, and it's cool because your whole the whole vibe of dope is like, like they come in little jars that look like you buy it at a dispensary.
You buy it at a
Jars or
dispensary.
something.
Legit
Yeah,
cookie
totally.
dough. It's dope. I mean,
Chill
when-
vibes.
It's so great vibes, and
Yeah.
it's fun. Your 2-year anniversary's on 420. Like,
Yeah.
where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, so the drug connotation of dope is actually like just a happenstance from the
Oh,
word
really?
dope.
Yeah.
I have like weirdly, I have an explanation for all of this. So
Okay.
it's called dope because I say like, dude, that's so dope, or this is really
Yeah.
dope all the time. It's like my favorite
Totally.
word. And I was
It's on my
sitting down
hoodie.
with a friend, like, hey, I want to start this cookie dough company. Let's like brainstorm ideas for the name.
Yeah.
And we'd come up with all these awful dough puns that were just like, it's so cheesy. It's like not the vibe I'm trying to get. And I said, I want to make like a really dope dessert shop. I want something that's chill and laid back and not like a little kids thing. And she like cuts me off and is like, dope could have dough in it. And so that's how we came up with the name. Like,
I love it.
literally asked like our waiter or whatever at the restaurant where we were, and I was like, I'm gonna start this cookie dough company. Like, what do you think of my name? And he's
Yeah.
like, that's cool, like super weirded out. So I didn't take his advice and I went with it. And even though people like can't pronounce it to save their lives most of the time when they see it, because they're like, Dopey, Doug HP, Dough Up, Dog Pee. I'm like, whoa, like what?
Dope.
Yeah, we get crazy stuff. But
I
then,
always like just enunciate the P if I'm like talking about you on Instagram or whatever. I'm like, I got some dope. Okay.
yeah, we get like dough. Some people write it dough apostrophe P, and I'm like, that's new. They're
Yeah.
changing it
Oh,
up,
I
like a
like
little
that.
flair in there. But yeah, the 420 thing, like having that be our birthday, was also just by chance. So it was the first day of my sabbatical from Intel. So I worked in tech for 10 years. Like
Yes.
got this crazy chance to start as an intern when I was 16, and I just never left. But yeah, when it came down to it, and I was ready to try something different in 17. I had scheduled my like 10-week sabbatical, which is an amazing benefit they give you. It's like paid vacation
Wow.
leave.
Yeah.
And the first start day of it was a Thursday. And they're like, it's kind of nice to start on a Thursday. You only have to work like Monday through Wednesday and then leave.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's 420.
It's also
oh my
meant to
God, I'm
be.
starting a company called Dope. Like, this is so perfect.
That
like, I
is
need to go to Dolores Park.
amazing. When I saw this, I was like, this is all, it's just one of those, like, it's just so meant to be. And it just
Yeah,
all
every-
aligns.
Everything's totally
The
like,
universe aligned for you, really.
yeah, it totally has. It like keeps happening. It's really crazy. But tell people that like if you're doing what you're meant to be doing and you love what you do, like everything just falls into place.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's this book, gosh,
Ooh.
The Surrender Experiment, and his first one was The Untethered Soul. So this writer is like incredible, and The Untethered Soul totally talks about that idea of like if you let go of your preconceived notions of like what should happen and just like go after like what makes you, you know, be excited and feel alive, like everything will come when it needs to. And he's like wanting to like start this like yoga retreat thing, but like doesn't have the money for it, and all of a sudden like a check literally shows up in the mail like right before it's all about to fall apart. And just like time and
Wow.
again he's got all these like crazy things that happen where it lines up. And my life with Doughp and just like my life in general since I made the decision to get sober in 2015 has like totally felt like that. Like I've been doing what I love and what makes me happy, and like I meet the perfect person at the perfect time. And like Pier 39, you know, that opportunity, they reached out. And I was at a kiosk at the time. I had gotten this little spot on Market Street, and it was doing okay. But like, man, this chance to go to the pier was a no-brainer. Moved there, and in February, that market hall shut down. So like my own like only spot would have like been pulled out from under me had I not gotten this like pier opportunity. And
that's
man, I could like go on with all these crazy things that have just been like right when I need to. But
and I think you got to believe in that to take these kind of leaps and to like really believe in yourself to start a business that's like look how far like just doing cookie dough has taken you, and like people are like eating it like ice cream like out in the open. They're like, finally I'm free to be no judgment. I'm eating my cookie dough.
It's like I think if people think you're crazy with what you're doing, it's the right thing. You know, they kind of say that.
I like that.
You should wake up like half wanting to like pee your pants in fear and half wanting to pee your pants in excitement every day.
Yeah.
Well, and then when
it's working.
When you see these stories of all these like entrepreneurs who just make something huge out of something, which I think is what you're doing, it's always like, I was unhappy with where I was working, and then I took a chance on myself. And it really is true. Take a chance on yourself.
Yeah. I think people like really don't give themselves enough credit, like that they don't deserve that chance to do something crazy and awesome in their own. Like you're just told that you should get a safe job and work it forever, and that's what you need. And yeah, I think sobriety gave me the wherewithal to be like, oh shit, I don't have to follow this path. Like I actually can do something different. And you know, it gives you like the mental clarity and the space and the productivity time to like do more with your life instead of just being like, all right, made it through work, you know, it's Friday, thank God, I can like check out for the weekend, as if I wasn't already drinking on like Wednesday, Thursday night, all that stuff. But yeah, it was just like, now it's every moment is like more present.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, I was very curious. Like, does the tech industry, like when you were starting in that, like, does that kind of played any kind of roles in what you're doing now? It's two totally different animals, but I'm sure it's
totally different worlds. I feel super fortunate for like the experience I had working at Intel, because I basically grew up in like this corporate environment, like learning all of these amazing like decision making skills and like watching how like my managers were making strategic decisions and where the company would go. And Intel was fascinating that there's like, it's such a big company that I have probably like 4 distinct like careers I could point out even in my 10 years there, because you can just do so many different things. And then now like leaving that and coming into Cookie Dough, you'd think like, God, do you need any of that? But business is business. Like
marketing
I'm
is
making
marketing.
very different decisions, but man, I'm making like, what are the pros and cons of this? What's the ROI of this decision? Like, what's the outcome if we participate in this event? Like, I made all those same choices at Intel, and now it's just on something way more fun. Talking about Cookie Dough every day. People management, leadership, like all of that. And I mean, frankly, the tech background, like I'm the web designer for Doughp, so that's cool. And some of those skills stuck, and I was like, oh, I don't have to pay someone to do like this graphic design because I like know how to do it.
And you're really good on the social media front too. Like I follow your Doughp Instagram, and it really you're very interactive with people who tag you. Very you have
so
a very
important.
good social. It is. It's very important. Your social media front is amazing. I do all the social media for the podcast, so when I see somebody doing good stuff on social media, I'm like, how can I utilize that too? So you've inspired me a little bit.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think like engagement and like human interaction is so important. I learned a lot going through. Okay, so I'm gonna like age myself here. I'm 28. And when the recession happened,
it's okay. You're the youngest one here.
Right? No, I mean like age it in a young way. Like I hate people are always like, "Oh, you're so young." So back in my day, in 2009, when the economy crashed, I was, watching like all of these companies just like almost completely fail, right? And then social media was like kind of coming in strong for businesses as those were recovering. So Netflix, for example, like we all remember, they almost went out, right? Like
when they were DVD service
done, right? They were DVD service. Like, what are we gonna do? They like pivoted so hardcore, and then they just had like such a strong social media presence, and it was like early wild west days of businesses using social media for themselves. And I remember reading like some Netflix like clapback, like they had done some like really witty comment like back to someone else's note, like kind of slicing some competition or something, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. It's so human. And I feel like I took a lot of that for Doughp.
That's awesome.
Humanizing your business, right?
Totally. I was like, man, more companies just need to like talk like real shit. Like people want to hear
like how Wendy's does on their Twitter.
Wendy's is hilarious. hilarious. Totally. Wendy's is like the new version of that for sure. Yeah. Like that's, if anyone doesn't follow Wendy's, like you're missing out
I
and
don't
you're
even
not living
eat
yet.
Wendy's, but I like watching their tweets. I'm like,
So it hasn't fully worked yet, but like they're getting to you. You're telling more people about them then.
I'm like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
I see you, Wendy's. Yeah, so like I think that power is like so interesting that the old days were like companies needed to be polished and have the perfect statement and this and that, and
Don't
now it's
offend
like
anybody.
yeah. Now I mean you can definitely still offend people, but like you gotta like you have to talk, you gotta try and like have a voice, and yeah, that framed a lot of like what Doughp stands for now and our ability to like rep our like Doughp for Hope engine and try to get people to just be more authentic in their life starts on social media. We're like, how do we represent our brand and how do I talk on lives and stories about like what's really going on? Or I'm slacking, but I used to keep up the blog like crazy, which was awesome. Other entrepreneurs were like, I love that you share like shit that went wrong.
I've read some of the blog posts and stuff.
Your website's
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, your website is amazing. I'm like, I was gonna ask if you did it, and I was like, if she did it, I need to know who did her website to like spruce up mine.
And you're on like along. My dad's like, can you fix our company website? My mom's like, please help. Like we need website help. So I'm like, one day I'll join that business.
And tell people about your Doughp for Hope on the website. Is not just about cookie dough. It's so much. There's so much depth and just realness. You address mental health. You address sobriety. I mean, so much on there. But tell us about the Doughp for Hope.
Yeah. So I'm sober. If I haven't mentioned that like enough times on here, I don't drink, but I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So alcohol and me were like longtime buddies, and I started drinking when I was like 14, 15, early high school days, like lied about going to my first party, like first time I drank, blacked out, like don't remember it. And it was just sort of a rolling like coaster from there, because I had my like day life like so in control. You're like, oh, this girl's like 16, she works at Intel, like she's super smart, like great grades, like straight A student, would cry when I got a B, like very hard on myself. And then like the nights were like, phew, I can give this brain like a break. And the societal pressures of like, be cool, you need to drink. It left me in this really weird space. Like high school is a super weird time for me because I was like smarter than the cool kids, but then like the smart kids were like, wait, but you hang out with the cool kids and you drink, and it's very confusing. And I just never, I had like lots of acquaintances, but I never had like a solid friend group because I was just like so lost myself, and like what I really wanted to be. I couldn't just like accept that I enjoy school and like I like work and that was all right. I was watching like the movies and all that were like the parties and this, and you need to be in a sorority. Just like that felt like the life I needed to go down. And I let myself like morph into like a sorority like Barbie doll. I had like long blonde extensions like to my hips, fake eyelashes every night to go out.
My 20s.
Right, like man, I was like another woman. And like I know you guys can't see me on the podcast right now, but I got like no hair.
Well, they'll see the photos in the episode.
Photos, yeah. So
you
yeah,
had,
I
like
just,
the hot pixie cut, right?
You do have the hot pixie.
So I was a super different girl and like really confused inside. Like I just wasn't really like happy with who I was, and that was like coming out in all the drinking and like the way I would act when I was drinking, and just like so many nights of not remembering what had happened, trying to apologize for what I had done. And by the end of it, like one last hurrah in Barcelona, it was like a work trip I was out for, and it was like day one of the work trip. I just like, per usual, sucked into drinking if it's in front of me or if anyone's interested or around.
Sure, it's so social too.
Like the Marriott Platinum member, they were like, here's your free bottle of wine for check-in. And I was like, oh, it's 11 a.m. Like, this makes sense. So like finished that, went up to the pool, got a sangria bigger than my head.
Like no alcohol goes
you
do not waste
this
alcohol.
Could go bad. Like I should probably finish it. So that happened, and then just you can imagine how the day went, and I came to it like 3:30 in the morning in like a stranger's apartment. I had a boyfriend of 4 years back home in the United States. I had to call him and tell him what happened that next morning, and like had woken up just being like, I'm never gonna do this again. Like I'm never gonna drink again. And found an English speaking AA meeting in Barcelona because my Spanish was a little rocky. Also, they speak Catalan, which was confusing. That aside, I found an AA meeting, and I still have the guy who chaired that meeting. I have his phone number, and I text him every anniversary, tell him I'm still sober.
Aww,
which is
amazing.
super, super cool that there's like that resource, like whatever you find to get sober, awesome. But like,
or wherever you
man,
are,
when you're super confused and you're just like in another country and everyone's speaking different languages, it's very reassuring to know that like that like AA community is worldwide and they have meetings. There's a kind of a secret like code word you can find in like hotel lobbies and stuff to like understand where you can find a safe meeting.
Aww.
And it was like super cool community.
I would have
like
never known that. That's very interesting.
yeah, it's a whole world out there, and like really the resource isn't shared enough. It's like mocked in movies that like, oh, hi, I'm Kelsey and I'm an alcoholic. Like,
no.
Yeah, we say that, but like it's not some weird culty thing, and like it's pretty awesome what it's brought to people and whatever like aspect they need it or wherever they need it. So yeah, so that was really cool.
Just a lot of no judgment and acceptance, and like somebody needs something right now, there's always somebody there.
Yeah,
that's
like
powerful.
AA or otherwise, the concept of like, wow, I need to get sober, like you've got to see that there's someone else that went through at least a version of what you're going through, and you can like see that light and just be like, damn, if I can stay on this path, like I can have what they have.
The 20 years of sobriety.
Yeah, like there are people that I met in the early days of sobriety, and like this guy, I remember him in Oregon was where I was living at the time, and he was like 35 or something, or 40. He's like, I was your age. He was 24 when he got sober, and he's got like a wife and kids now, and he's like, just like stick with it, like you will be so happy you did. Like you know, just you need that to be like, oh, someone else actually did this, because you can sit there and be like, but I'm in my 20s, and like, how will I get married? No champagne toast, and like, but happy hour, and like all these like dumb excuses that like in retrospect now I'm like, I can't believe I worried about that. But you just got to get through like one day at a time, being like, okay, never again. So all to say, my like life mission now is to just try and share with other people that like you can come to terms with whatever your vice is in life. And like for me, it was alcohol.
I love that though, because my mom is an addict still. You know, you always an addict. 12 Step saved her life, and I love hearing the 12-step success stories. It warms my heart. I actually started going to 12 Step for codependency. I'm doing Codependence Anonymous now. I've gone to 3 meetings. Haven't spoke yet. It's still very like new and letting me learn what's
being
going
there
on.
is step 1. Yeah,
being there is step 1.
Totally.
Actually, for me, reading a book about it was step 1. But
that's awesome. It's so cool that they have those outlets for so many different people. Like,
like
there's
you said,
food addicts. There's
everybody
Narcotics
has their own
Anonymous.
addiction.
Like,
yeah,
everybody has their thing. Like, there's something that's holding you back from being the best version of yourself. Figure that out. Like, isolate it and try removing it from your life, and like see if you change for the better. And I totally did. So I think a lot of the things that led me to have that relationship with alcohol was a misunderstanding of mental health, like not understanding the anxiety I was going under. Like I was like an anxious, crazy person in high school, you know, like
and then you put all the other pressure on yourself too.
So much pressure on myself, and crazy test anxiety in school. Like I would like start freaking out. I had to take tests alone in like a separate room usually. I don't know, just crazy stuff where there wasn't that communication about it to be like, oh, this is happening to you, like let's figure out why or how we could work through it naturally, instead of, I mean, really what happened to me was just like, go take it in a room by yourself then, instead of like, oh, is this like bleeding over into other parts of your life? Like, you know, you can be in high school and be dealing with like serious anxiety, depression, like mental health comes to a head in so many different ways, but there's no conversation to like recognize it easy enough.
I think with just in the past like 2 or 3 years, mental health conversation has really come to a light, because for so long it was very like hush hush, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it.
And if it was talked about, you were considered this like extreme, like, oh, you have like a psychotic issue, or like it was.
It's like when I'm like, oh, okay, I am on antidepressants, people are like, oh, you are? Well, you don't seem depressed. Well,
they're working. They're like,
what? They're working.
Yeah. It's like the you don't seem. It's like, man, no one knows what like anything looks like. Exactly. You don't seem like an alcoholic. Yeah, like people say that kind of stuff, and you're just like, thank you? Question mark. Yeah. There's literally no definition of what any of this stuff looks like. It's a unique experience for all of us. So,
and we never know 100% what is in somebody else's brain except our own.
You're all trying to control yourself, and we've talked about like, you know, you gotta kind of reel it in sometimes and keep your emotions, but we're all going through these roller coasters of emotions. One day I might be a complete maniac, and the next day I'm just mellow and easygoing, and you may have caught me on one of those other days, and that could define you. So I think even if you are struggling with some kind of mental illness, or you know, just depression or whatever you're going through, it doesn't define you, and you can rise above it. You can become a successful entrepreneur. You can just But you know, being aware, like with the way you said, I read a book and I started to notice some things I relate to, and I was like, just awareness is one of the biggest steps to changing. And
totally. So like trying to help raise more awareness with Doughp as it got bigger, and I started to share like my sobriety a little bit here and there. Like the first time was kind of, we were opening this kiosk on Market Street, and it was going to open on my 2-year sobriety anniversary. So we said, if you come up and you say it's dope to be sober, you'll get 20% off.
Nice.
And that was the first time I had sort of put it out in the world. And the response we started getting from people being like, wow, thanks for sharing that you're sober. Like, I'm 2 weeks sober. Do you have like any advice? Or like, I'm 13 years sober. It's so cool to see, you coming out publicly about it.
I love it.
I've never told anyone, or things like that. And I was just like, whoa, like this conversation needs to be so much louder. And so we formed Doughp for Hope. Yeah, it's a cute moniker and pun, but it just is a huge pillar for our company. We do it in a couple of different ways. Like, one of the things we have is a Doughp for Hope flavor in the store.
So good,
so this
guys.
one's pretty delicious right now. We partnered with Chippendales.
Yes,
and
the chips, right?
Yeah. So it's
So
Chiptastic is the name of the flavor. It's peanut butter chips, chocolate chips, and potato chips, which is awesome.
And it's not as weird as you might think it is, guys. It's so
people
good.
are like, potato chips. I don't know how I feel about that, but sweet
It just adds a
and
little
salty.
extra crunch and salt.
So good. And
salty
the
sweet.
best part about it is 100% of proceeds go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
I love it.
So that's great. It's one of our remixes, and if you choose that, you get to know that you're helping do some good while you eat some dope. Outside of trying to help these other nonprofits, so we kind of rotate the nonprofits through. It's my idea that like I don't need to come up with all of the amazing like plans and actions we could take in the world, because there are so many nonprofits out there like just killing it, and they just need more financial support, so we can help in that light. And then in our storefronts too, trying to create really like safe spaces for people, so booze free fun. We've got like mocktails and all of that, and trying to make a judgment free zone. We talked about the raw truth cards, like how can you come and engage with people more often.
Oh, you have the coffee shop that puts pictures on their coffee?
The
the
got an
espresso
espresso bar
lattes.
that like prints photos on your latte.
It's so cool.
We've got some like mental health phrases and stuff that we print on lattes too, and programmed in there, so that's pretty cool. All of our staff is mental health certified, so trying to have them prepared to like recognize signs of anxiety attacks or depression or signs of suicide risk. And I think employer and employee relationships, it's like time for them to change. It's been a long road of like, you need to be all great all the time for your employer or you're going to lose your job. And I just think that's a thing of the past. 1 in 2 Americans will be diagnosed with a mental health disorder in their lifetime. So if I think like really, if I think 50% of the population is going through something like that, why would I not want to have a conversation about it and make them feel more comfortable talking about it, and encourage my staff to like recognize signs inside themselves and with others and be more comfortable chatting about it, right? Like, we're gonna bring this up in our store. We've got like our Doughp for Hope pledge that you can sign. That's right there in the store. So I wanted the staff to feel really comfortable, like when people see that and then they feel compelled to like talk about what's going on in their own life. The staff should feel really warm and welcoming to them and understand how to like react to it.
Your staff is very warm and welcoming, just period.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
when I go in there, like when I was in there on Sunday, I was drunk and it's like 11 o'clock at night, like right before closing. And I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. And they were like, no, what do you want?
Yeah.
I'm like, that.
They're super awesome. Yeah, they're super awesome. They also receive 2 mental health days per year. So that idea of like, let's open the door and like, don't cough and tell me you're sick. Just like, if you want, you can share what's going on. If not, tell me you need a mental health day and we cover your shift. You don't have any financial downside for it. We still pay you for your shift.
Oh, I love it.
And move on. So
so much more than a cookie dough business. I mean, it's
so
shockingly,
much.
It's like philanthropy. It's just like you just inspire. That's what I told Bree. I said when I first met her, I mean, we're at this big media event at your shop and there was a lot of people going on. I was like, oh, we'll talk to her when you had it. But when you sat down and had a moment, we were just chatting and it was just like you were just relaxed and engaged, and you can tell that you really connect with people. Just like Bree saying, like when like CEOs of a company reaching out and saying, hey guys, I'm actually a part of this and I want to get to know you and I appreciate you. So it's very personal, it's very inspiring, and I love that you rotate the nonprofits.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
it's so
That's
awesome. We're
amazing.
talking to Las Vegas Rescue Mission right now. So they're doing some awesome stuff and just super touched by their story and like all the work they're doing in that area. So it's pretty awesome. I've just like loved what I've been able to build, and people really respond to it. It's like makes me think why more companies aren't like this. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so rare?
You saw
it's just being human.
You saw something missing, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm here to fill that void, and
Yeah.
that's what I love, and that's what inspires people.
I guess also now that we've gone into Dope for Hope, can you tell us a little bit about Shark Tank?
Shark Tank.
Airing
We should play
May
the Jaws
5th.
theme song.
Dun, dun, dun. Airing May 5th.
May 5th. Cinco de Sharko.
All right, guys, every month we ask for your ratings and reviews on iTunes. Share us in your Instagram stories because we do free hookups the last Wednesday of every month.
Woohoo!
Hooked up.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm going to be the hype girl.
We have, yeah.
What is my
And
rap
we
form?
have one of the coolest hookups that I
yeah.
think we've given away so far.
Kelsey, do the honors. Please tell them what they're getting.
There's going to be a $25 gift card for some magical edible cookie dough. I know I said edible. Some of you guys got excited for different reasons. It is cookie dough sans the marijuana. Just good old sugar high fun. But you can get some at Miracle Mile shops, and the lucky winner will have this $25 gift card to enjoy it for free.
And our winner is, fake drum roll please, Simply Plotkin.
Oh.
I'm a dude and this helps. As a 30-something man trying to navigate the nuclear hellscape that is modern day dating, every episode has some insider advice, be it directly stated or implied through the engaging storytelling and back and forth of Bree and MJ. 5 stars.
Oh,
Thank you. All right.
Oh, he loves you guys. They're blushing. You guys can't see.
Simply Plotkin. Send us an email to feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com so we know where to send you your gift card.
You get some dope, right?
Get some dope.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Woo! Everybody, I know you can't tell us exactly what happened, but you can say you
Spill
were
everything
on
you
it.
can.
Yeah,
Spill what
no,
you
I'm
can.
so excited, guys. I mean, this opportunity is like an entrepreneur's dream, quite literally.
I'm
like,
sure, yes.
I mean, the chance to be in front of these people who could just dramatically change your life is something like I wouldn't change for the world. So it was a really incredible experience. Like, the audition process is so crazy.
I'm sure it's intense.
I have no words for like how wild it is, mainly because it's under NDA.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, I did go to a casting call in San Francisco, and I hope that's inspiring to others that hear it, because oftentimes people are like, oh, they find companies and they call them to come on the show, but like.
Yeah.
I like almost didn't go, and big ups to Alexis if you're listening. My employee was like, "You need to go."
Shout
like,
out, Alexis.
She totally like pushed me over the edge and was like, "You've got to go. I'll make the samples for you to take." And like it was at like 6 a.m. the next morning, and I was just like thinking that thing, like even as the entrepreneur that I am, I was like, whatever, like one of 45,000, like there's no way that like I would make it on. But like shit, all right, let's try. So I went, and yeah, I mean, it's a mix of like all these people in line, like with their gadgets and gizmos and this and that, and
who's it's and what's it's galore.
yeah, it's so funny. I was in line with these people. This is like at the casting call in San Francisco, and they had like a tortilla heating machine. I
Ooh.
was like, a microwave? No,
A gas
stove?
stove?
Yeah, or a stove. No, but it was like a toaster that could like perfectly fit the tortillas in without bending them.
I am interested.
So yeah,
Always looking for the perfect burrito fold right
yeah,
here.
yeah. I remember like the local news was walking by and like picked them from in front of me to go get like filmed really quick about being there for the audition. I was like, they didn't pick me. Like,
But that's okay.
But
You're
that's
gonna be on
okay,
it.
'cause,
Just
like, here
something
I am.
making that
It's so
more
cool.
racking, like
That's
that
so-
audition process has got to be like, you're just like comparing yourself immediately to like,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
God, I
But
should've
no,
got
it was
the
fun.
tortilla.
Honestly, we sat for a while because it was like 6 a.m. I got there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't actually stand us and move us till like 9.
Oh.
So I'm like, I went and got ice cream a couple months ago with the girl that was sitting behind me, and like still friends.
Love it.
But the guy in front of me is super nervous, and he's got, this like crazy concept, and he was like, should I have had something like better prepared? And he was like doing his pitch, and I actually sat there like giving him pointers and like wrote down like a better script for him and
Aw.
like tweaked some
that's
stuff. So
cool.
it was fun. It's like a cool vibe. Everyone's just like so into what they've made or what they've been working on, and they just can't wait to tell you about it. And so even if it was like the craziest thing where I'm like, would people buy that? Like, oh my God. But like, you're gonna kill it, dude. You know, it's just this like good
You have
like
to, yeah.
morale,
Yeah.
right? So I went in there and like casting director Mindy. She's been like in all 10 seasons, and she was there, and yeah, just pretty awesome to have her like come over and try it. She said she had tried dough in New York City, so I had like some good comparison because she'd actually had edible cookie dough before.
Okay.
You guys will have to tune in to see how Shark Tank goes.
I'm so
Shark
excited.
Tank, when is it?
May 5th,
May
10
5th.
p.m. Pacific, and it's on ABC.
All right.
Shark Tank is one of my favorite shows, so I'm really
Right?
excited.
Can you believe it's been 10 seasons? This is the 10th season.
Okay, I haven't watched all 10 seasons,
Yeah?
but I
Yeah.
think I got into it about 5 seasons ago.
Yeah, I definitely watched it when I was super young, like really early Shark Tank days. It was like a family show we'd sit around and watch like
Love
together.
it.
So
I know my husband was in there. He's like, "What? What would you do? What happened?" She's like, "I can't tell you everything." I'm like, "Chris,
have to
hello."
Google
Yeah. He's not in PR at all.
yeah,
He's just like, "Tell it all. What's the problem? What's the big deal?"
yeah.
So
I like all
we're
this
going to
stuff.
switch it up and not make it all about entrepreneurship anymore because we have a fun game we play with all our guests called Getting to Know You.
Yeah, we
Cool.
like we like everybody's perspective on
Life
different,
outside of dope.
Yes,
yeah.
life outside of dope.
different,
Is there? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I mean,
different uncomfortable
Yes.
like situations, whether it's with friends or relationships. So
Yeah.
just fun, silly
I
stuff.
hope my
like
boyfriend's listening.
that. Yeah.
so our first one is, do you actually listen to any other podcasts?
Yeah.
I do listen to Stuff You Should Know.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating hour of my life was devoted to Easy Bake Ovens. Highly recommend it. Lots you didn't know. I can't even tease. It's so awesome. Just go learn about
Okay,
Easy
so
Bake Ovens.
I'm going to have to spin off of this. Were you an Easy Bake Oven fan as
Yeah.
a child?
Yeah.
I knew
Of course
it.
she
I knew
was.
it.
Of course I was. No, I loved to bake as a kid. Yeah, like me in the kitchen. We've been friends for a while. My mom's like an amazing cook, and my stepmom and my mom both like to bake. And
Yeah.
I was just addicted to like sugar as a kid. My nickname's Monster Baby still, like to this day, for just like face first into chocolate cake as a child.
I always admire bakers because I cannot bake. I do not like following a recipe. I can cook, and I can cook very well.
Yeah.
But if you put a recipe in front of me that I have to follow
Yeah.
to specifics,
Cooking's for people who like to wing it.
yes, and
Baking
I like
is
to
for
wing it.
analytical fucks
Baking
that
is
like
for-
need to
baking-
keep their brain straight.
I always say baking is a science because you
Yeah,
have to follow it.
totally
and it
is.
just
I think it's like why I loved it. It was like meditating, like
Yeah.
like having to be so precise, and like literally I feel like I totally zone out for hours when I'm in there baking.
and that's how I am when I cook. I like the
Yeah.
art, I don't know, the art of just being
Yeah.
like, I think this will be good.
Splash
and this
of this,
and
splash of that.
boom.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
baking
made
is
a
like
meal.
level. Like, okay, pro tip for anyone listening: I like cringe when I bake with my friends because I'm like, no, don't put that in. Like when you do a measuring cup,
I have a girlfriend that's just like this. She's like,
take
"What are you doing?" No.
take the back of the knife and like flatten
and
off
flatten
the
it off,
top.
yeah.
So like you want to fill it up and flatten it off. You don't want to like pack stuff in or anything, but like fill it up over so it's overflowing, and then like level it with the back of a knife. That just saved you
Pro
a lot of
baking
ruined
tips.
cookies.
Dude, I'm so overwhelmed in the kitchen. It's not even funny. And then I get
So
mad.
much to know.
I get mad because I'm like, I should know this. I'm so
Oh,
stupid.
no.
Like, but it's very like I think you're either like you can follow a recipe or you can't, and it's the most simple thing.
Yeah.
But I get so overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my
Well,
god.
they're just like
what's
tasks
happening?
like that have no one ever showed you how to do this. You would be like, what? Like literally, my boyfriend is so cute. I love you. I'm sorry.
Aw.
He doesn't know how to cook very well, at least. And this
relating.
yeah, I'm like, how can I say this kindly? So I was like, oh, this is so nice. You want to help? Like earlier in our relationship, and I was like, here, just peel these carrots. And he walks away for a second with the carrots, and I'm like sautéing something, and he comes back and he's like, I don't know how to peel carrots. I was like, oh, bless you, child. Like,
Peel them all. Like,
he like literally didn't know like what tool do I use or like
Oh, he doesn't. Oh.
so sweet. I was like, no, like there's a vegetable peeler in this.
he's got a spoon. He's like,
Yeah, like literally, I was like, or is he gonna like put it under the front teeth and just run it down?
Oh no.
Super sweet.
peel them
So yeah,
all?
no, it's like if no one ever taught you how to do these things, then
Yeah.
you just wouldn't know.
I think my mom tried, and I was just like, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do it. And now
Yeah.
it's all regretted. But it's all.
I did the same
now I'm
thing with
learning.
my mom. She'd be like, I'd be like 10 years old. She'd be like, come learn how to make a roux and learn how to make gravy. And I'd be like, no.
Like I'm over it.
I'm trying to party. I'm a teenager. I don't
I'm
want
10
to cook.
years old. I'm trying to watch cartoons.
Yeah, I don't
So funny. Yeah.
It's a very learned skill though. So okay, something we talked about last week that was really funny was first night hooking up with somebody. It's always very vulnerable to like have a one night stand, but it's
Yeah.
easier than actually sleeping at their place because there's always that like vulnerable that first night sleepover fear. So like,
Try having a pixie. My haircut, like, dude, I'm so glad I have a boyfriend.
I woke up like this.
waking
when
up
you
with
wake
like,
up, it's just like, whoop, like straight up. I got a
Yes,
mohawk.
I
in the
remember
morning.
from my
But
pixie cut.
my
day.
boyfriend's very understanding of my new haircut, so he's all right.
so like, you know, those
yeah,
night fears of like
totally.
waking up. You're like, what? Okay, I don't know if I could sleep over. I would
Yeah.
be like, have to like fly out of the house or be like, let's go get breakfast because I gotta go. I gotta
Yeah.
go in the morning. Like
Yeah.
I need to go. I
Like,
can't
what do I
be-
do here? Foreign place. Like, where can I grab something?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
are my clothes? Like, whatever. Yeah.
With my ex-boyfriend,
Gosh.
it took me till we were 5 months into our relationship
No.
for us to spend the night together.
Oh man, that's
Yes.
so funny. Do you guys want to know something crazy about my boyfriend and I? Like, literally, our second time ever sleeping in the same bed was at my parents' house for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Like, that's how in it to win it we were. We were just like,
So
you should probably come home for Thanksgiving.
So
and we
did you
should do
have
this
any like
thing.
fears for like the first time you guys slept in the same bed? Like, oh my God, what if I snore? Oh my God, what if? Or were you just so in love that you were like, he's gonna accept me?
I don't know. Okay, I think back in my drinking days, and
Or
I will
like,
say,
yeah,
like,
before.
Yeah.
sleeping with people, like random people and stuff. Once I got sober, I was single because I had ruined my relationship of prior.
Yeah.
And so
But
then
you're
I was
happy
like,
now.
oh my God, how do I date sober? Like, talk about first date, right? Everyone's like, dude, get
Let's
a drink
go-
before you
let's
go
go
out the
grab a
door.
drink.
Yeah.
Loosen it up. And then
Yeah.
literally every first date, especially Bumble days right now, is like,
Yeah.
everybody was like, oh, let's get a drink. Like, can I meet you at this bar or that bar? And if you put sober on your like profile, like some guys literally won't swipe yes to you because they'll like, but they're douchebag guys anyway, but they
Yeah.
would think you're like too hard to get or whatever. You wouldn't be much fun. So like, sadly, like didn't even write that on there, but I would always be like, oh, is there something else we could do? You know, because it was more nerve wracking to have like that first hookup or that first time. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Oh, that's gotta be true. Like you're like, okay, how do you date when you're like, okay,
Yeah.
the typical thing
like
is
it's
drinks.
just me
Yeah.
and all of my feels and presence all the time. And so like going with a guy who frankly probably doesn't do it for the first time sober very often either.
Yeah.
It was super awkward in the beginning, like days when I was like dating around and sober and trying to like figure my stuff out. And I was just like, when you don't want to hook up with a guy who's drunk while you're sober, like I got a very
Oh,
finite window of acceptability for me around people who are drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Like tolerance of it is like super low. So
I bet.
yeah, hooking up with a guy was like such a turn off. Like even
yeah.
I got a boyfriend after like a year of being sober or something, and my ex, that was already like everything took a little getting used to.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
that's a big topic, right?
Yeah,
Like just like
dating-
dating sober
So-
for
yeah,
the first
So
time.
you were
People
swiping,
need more guidance tools on that.
you were swiping
Next
on
podcast.
Bumble.
Yeah.
And you were sober and you were building your own business. Guys
Yeah.
must have been super intimidated by you.
Totally.
I have that same problem. Like, just
Guys
men
are so
s-
intimidated so easily, but frankly,
Yeah.
that means they're like not right for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, we had this conversation, was it last week or a few weeks ago? Being an independent woman,
Yeah.
being financially independent, not
It
needing.
scares some
not-
guys.
Yeah, it
They
scares
want to
men,
be
not
a
needing
lot
man
of
in
guys
your
want to
life.
be the provider
Oh,
and like
yeah.
the one that can support you. And when you're like, no, I'm chill, but like you want to hang, like
Yeah.
I'm good, but I don't need you, but I want you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's a very
Exactly.
different space, and you'll know when you find someone who's ready for an independent woman. Like everything that my boyfriend tells me about what he loves, like it always starts with how much he admires me and like loves my drive and like
Strength.
just that kind of stuff is so great. Like when you really feel appreciated for how bold and fierce and crazy you are, like
Yeah.
he likes that passion.
Yeah.
It's a confident
And that he
man.
has his own stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
And like it's just good. You need to find someone that's like ready to handle all that.
Well, and it's funny because
You've
like
got-
every guy I meet that's like, I want an independent woman, and then they actually get me, the independent woman, and they're like,
It's too
"Oh.
much. I ain't ready.
Oh, she really is an independent woman. Oh,
Yeah.
she doesn't need me. Oh.
Yeah. Guys have so many different personality types. Like some
Yeah.
really do like need to be needed. And that's not like a relationship I was comfortable being in. So yeah.
Yeah.
You learn so much though in your life. It's crazy.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Like every relationship too is just this little building block of like what should the next step look like and like what was okay with me or not okay with me in the
Yeah.
last one. And yeah, like every failed relationship, no one should be like crying for too long because you should be like, now I'm smarter. Like I know more
It's
for
true.
next time.
There's
That's
a thing
true.
with things coming
Yeah.
full circle with you because this is like the last few podcasts we have
Really?
talking about like a couple relationships. Like one was really,
Yeah.
you know, like
Go
going
through stages.
dating cycles.
Dating cycles is what we've
Yeah.
been calling them.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time you're a player, then you're just like,
Yeah.
I just want to find the one. You know, it all.
Yeah. And
It
then
all-
you
it
find the one when you're like, I don't need anyone.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
how I was.
Oh. Okay, so you are in a relationship with a man you seem to totally love, and I just see it in your eyes, and I love it. So what's something non-sexual that he does that's totally hot?
Oh my God, what a funny question. Non-sexual that he does.
It came up because I'm going to reference my ex-boyfriend. There was one day, this is how we got this question. There was one day I was at his house and he was just walking around in his flannel pajama pants and I was like, hey, baby. Like he wasn't doing anything of any part, but I was just like, I was so attracted to him in that very second. So it's just nothing sexual was going on.
Mine was vacuuming when I came home.
hers was vacuuming. He was vacuuming.
It's like, yeah.
No, I
Look
think
at you doing that.
like that thoughtfulness stuff is like the best thing. Like one time I was coming home and I think I'd just gotten back from Vegas. We were dating over this whole, trip when I was living out here to run the store, to open the store. And I think I was only back for a few days or something. And it was the first day I'd gotten back. And he was like, oh, I'm so killed at work. Like, I'm not going to be able to make it home. And we had these plans that he was going to, like, try and make dinner. He doesn't cook like we talked about. And he was going to try and, like, prepare dinner for me.
That was probably the biggest anxiety of his day.
Right. And so I'm, like, sort of disappointed because he said he was, like, slammed at work and, like, couldn't do it. And, like, whatever, it's fine. Like, I almost, like, got food on the way home because I was just, like, forget it. But then I figured I'd make some stuff in the kitchen. So I opened the door and I'm like, this is weird. Like the lights are off, but there's like candlelight glowing. And like, he totally had like made the dinner and it's like so cute. Like him cooking is like the cutest thing that he tried and he followed a recipe and it was pretty good. Like, sorry, it was really good.
My heart just blushed.
He made like lemon asparagus and chicken parmesan.
Oh.
Like got the whole recipes out and did the thing and like it was just his face to be like so excited to show me that he had like done it was awesome. So he does have these little pajamas though that also make me
see
like, smile and laugh.
something like
Okay, but they are kind of sexual because like in Brazil it's chill for guys to wear really short shorts. He's Brazilian. Like I can't start. Like,
we're all blushing
I'm
now.
dating a Brazilian model. Like it's not a big deal.
It's no big deal.
I was like, what is this life? It's so good that he admires me for my business shit because like I'm not an American model. But like, okay. Anyways, he has these little tiny like baby shorts. Like one time like his boxer briefs were longer than the shorts. I was like, why are you wearing the shorts? But it's so cute.
I love it.
Oh, Brazilian shorts.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a babe. I'll show you guys some pictures.
Yeah,
of him.
I was like, can we put any pictures on the Instagram for our listeners?
Yeah. No, he's great.
Like
when
we're
we
all
first
thirsty
started
ladies.
dating,
even if
I was
we're-
like, oh, like let me follow you on Instagram. Like I think this was like our first date. And I pulled it up and he's got like 20,000 followers and I was like, oh, is there something I should like know? Like, can you talk about dope? Like, this instantly turned from like a date to like a sponsorship opportunity with an influencer.
Get a t-shirt on and put you in.
Like, could I see your follower breakdown?
Does your boyfriend really like the Keeping It Casual podcast? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, now he's definitely tuning in.
We're making shorts. We're making shorts. We're making
Yes.
logo shorts.
Oh my God, please. You know what they're like? You know Sophies from cheerleaders in America? Those little Sophies, they're like the white banded top on the inside, like little shorts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're totally like that, but like if they were rolled 3 times. You know?
Fantastic.
So good. Oh, he's so great though.
Thank
and
you
he's
for
so
the
nice.
visuals.
Yeah,
We all-
you know what's funny is I
I'm
call
like, and then his abs trail up the front. Sorry.
Yes, go on. I think he's very tan.
He's pretty tan.
The dark hair. Are we catching? Everybody listening has their own picture of your
it's so
man
good.
now.
So he like wants to go into personal training and like life training, sort of like
Okay.
life coaching. He's super inspirational. I mean, he left Brazil to come here and like make his own life and everything.
That's awesome.
But I'm literally like, I haven't told him this, but I'm thinking in the back of my head how distracting it would be to try and listen to like life advice from some like super hot Brazilian dude. I would just be like, of course I should do that. Like, and then
Whatever
what's
you
my
say.
next life goal? Like, tell me more. Say it slowly again.
Bring it on.
You know, like, but no, he's gonna be great.
Oh man,
It's awesome.
the shorts are already sold out.
If we could put a little Brazil flag for him on the front, that would like
Love it.
keep it.
On it.
Absolutely.
It's already sold out.
Oh man. Okay. What else do we got? Another one. Okay. How about when you guys first started living together? Because you said you lived together.
Yeah.
What was something you were like super nervous? Like, oh God, like I don't want him to see my dirty laundry, or like he can't be something you were like.
Yeah.
This has to be clean. You're always making it messy, or any of your weird like living with somebody.
Something that always has to be tidy, or like a weird quirk.
Really tight.
okay, so yeah, like living with someone is so funny, especially when you've been dating like 2 months and then you move in together. So we moved in really fast. Like I was living in Vegas. Basically, he asked me out on like the last possible day that he could. We'd been working in the same office since July. And like, I'm just like, work. Like, hello, dude that sits near the printer. Like, I never thought anything. He works in the co-working office that I use. Yeah. And I never thought anything about it. I was like, he looks hot, but he like, maybe he's like almost 40, like might be out of my like range. I think he looks like some suave, like George Clooney kind of thing. He's got like long flowing hair. So I was like, it wasn't even registering. Like dating was just not on my like radar. And then finally, like in October, it was Halloween. Mind you, I like came in like workout clothes that day. I was like, oh shit, it's Halloween. I'm a runner. Like I didn't like dress up or anything. I'm like no makeup, wearing a hat. And he's eating in the, sorry, I'm going to do the whole like first date.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
He was eating in the kitchen area of the co-working office, and I like went to heat up my food, and I hear this voice from behind me that's like, did you know you're using the broken microwave? And I was like, what? Like, oh, I don't know. It still heats my food. He's like, yeah, but it doesn't rotate. And you're just trying to find like any reason he could like
to talk to you.
Me. And so I get my food out, and I was like, okay, like yeah, he's pretty cute, you know. Like I used to kind of be like pretend to like faint when he like walked by sometimes because I thought he was pretty cute. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'll sit with him, see if I like can learn like what he does or what his name is or something. So we talked, and then like at the end of the lunch, he was like, are you free tomorrow? Like, can I take you out for lunch? And I was like, I just get asked out on a date? Like, alert. Like, all the voices in my head are like running around, screaming, like, act normal, say yes. And so, yeah, I said yes. And then the next day, like 12 o'clock rolls around. I don't have his phone number, and I don't see him at his desk. I can like creepily see him from where I sit. Yeah. And I was like, it's fine. It wasn't even a date. He's probably busy. I don't care. I got stuff to do. And I like pretend like to zone out, but secretly I'm a little sad. And then he like popped over at 12:30 and was like, are you ready? I was thinking I could take you to my favorite Italian spot. Like, and we go to get lasagna, and like ended up hanging out for like 3 hours straight. He walked me home, and yeah, I was just like super smitten. I thought he was so cute, and he was leaving for Brazil for 2 weeks the next morning.
It always happens when you find like it always happens. You start dating someone you really like they take off. They escape, or you escape, or there's some reason you can't meet up.
It was right away. Like he was going to Brazil back in 2 weeks. By the time he'd get back, I would have moved to Vegas already. And so I was like, all right, I'm about to embark on this like 6-month like journey, basically like mostly being in Nevada. But then that's why like the second night we ever spent the night together was like Thanksgiving. I was coming home, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be going to Sacramento. Like I'm going to get a rental car from San Francisco. If you want to come with me, I know it's like meeting my family and stuff, but we'd had like 2 weeks of pretty much just like talking every day, you know, texting and stuff when he was gone. And yeah, my family like loved him. He loved my family. And we drove out for Thanksgiving at like 5 a.m. So we got we got there because we wanted to beat traffic, you know, it's like Thanksgiving traffic, whatever. Sacramento, San Francisco is like a 2-hour drive, but if you leave at the wrong time, it's like 5 hours. So we were like, screw it, let's go early. And we get there, have coffee with my parents, and then we're super tired, we're gonna take a nap. And so like, you know, having just basically started dating, we were able to like lay down and take like a 2-hour nap together, and I was like, he's the one.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
It's just been so nice. So that was awesome, and we're like, we should move in together. And then you figure out like what
all the
you
things
can't stand. So we're pretty good because we're both like pretty clean people. It's a great balance of like I cook, he does the dishes, like super understood on that front. I like to cook, and he doesn't know how, so he doesn't mind doing the dishes.
She always talks about like this relationship podcast that talks about making the coffee or whatever.
Well, it was like the balance in relationships.
Yeah.
Like
she always talks about
it's this give and take, and who's gonna do this or that.
It's like if you don't, like somebody's gonna make the coffee. If you don't really mind doing it that much, like he forgets all the time. I'm always making the coffee, or just like
it's that if you don't mind it that much, just freaking do it. Who cares? It's easier for you than them, or it's bothering you and not them. Yeah. So yeah, definitely some of that. But
that
like
balance.
I have a hard time swallowing the deal with like beard hairs on the sink. So literally speaking of Shark Tank, there was a company that made the beard bib. So it like wraps around a dude's neck, and it's a big scoop neck seagull like catcher that will catch all their beard hairs. And I'm like, I need to buy you this thing because I can't stand it. He's like, no, I wiped the counter down. I'm like, no. There's like speckled like granite look. No, you can't see. Wipe it with toilet paper, and you can see there's still hairs. Yeah. So that was
She's
one
in there,
thing.
like doing the queen sweep. Like, look at
I'm like, I'm like, do you see how many are on here? No, and then like
no.
we've come into some like cultural stuff like from Brazil and the US, which is really interesting to overcome because there's like such a disconnect. It's not an obvious like, oh, you're right, I should do that. It's like, why? And like, why would you care? And for one, this is not that bad, but it's kind of gross. They take their temperature in their armpit.
Oh,
in Brazil,
like
instead of under their tongue. Fun fact.
Okay.
But no, the toilet seat has been a huge thing. Like in Brazil, there is no like putting the toilet seat down for a woman.
Oh no.
It's just like everybody just does their part. Like lift it if you need it, put it down if you don't, and like deal with it. And he just cannot comprehend. He's like, I do it because I love you, but I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
that kind
like,
of thing.
This is your business.
Yeah.
Like, I
But
get
it's one of those things that's like when it's 2:00 in the morning, we
and
go
you
in
fall
there.
in the toilet.
How many
there's
times have you fell
so
in?
many articles. If you want to read a hilarious article, Bustle like busts one open and is like, this is why like men are misogynistic and leaving the toilet seat up.
They
And,
know.
like, why they shouldn't. You know, it's like.
Oh god.
Yeah, there's like a lot, but it's also one interesting thing I read, which was I was just like common courtesy, like
Yeah.
that's just what we do in America to like put it down for the woman.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's less germ transfer. Like, why make both of you touch the toilet seat with your hand when like just one of you could?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna touch it and then have to like go
Pull
to the
it up.
bathroom or whatever,
Yeah.
So just one of you can handle it. And so now we've tried to make a rule.
You've
that,
sent
like,
him that article. He's not
yeah,
She's
no, I
like,
read it to him and he was like, he just couldn't even like handle it. He's like, I'm not gonna agree with everything you're reading, but I respect you and love you, and I'll put the toilet seat down.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been pretty good. He's like, also no one really has cats in Brazil, so I have a cat, and it's just been like. He thought he was deathly allergic at first, but we've kind of like immunotherapied him slowly but surely to like be all right with it. And now I'm here in Vegas again, and he's watching my cat who has like double ear infections.
Oh yeah, you were just talking about that
He's
earlier.
giving him like twice a day oral medication, and you know how gnarly that liquid
Yeah.
medication is for a cat. Yeah, but
And
he's
the
like,
cat just-
Chip and I have an understanding. We're doing all right.
He's just like snuggled around his neck when he's sleeping.
Yeah, he did. He posted a little Instagram story yesterday with he and Chip cuddling
Aw.
together. So I was like, "Ah, he
My,
loves him.
We all adapt to our
My ex
yeah.
used to
people
get
we
so
love's
annoyed
crazy
with me
stuff.
because I close all the doors. Like I'm a big door closer. All the lights have to be like off. I'm
Yeah.
But the door's closed?
the door has to be closed. So
Doesn't it make you feel okay,
closed.
girl? I got like San Francisco space. I'm keeping every door I can open.
I like it open.
He's in a
studio.
very small studio, so he likes doors open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I would
me
go
too.
use the bathroom and then I would close the door on my way out.
Yeah.
I have dogs. Dogs cannot go into all of my rooms.
Got it. Yeah.
That's
Dog
where
proofing.
it's from.
It's
yeah.
from the dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always had dogs growing up. So he would always get so annoyed with me. He'd be like, "Leave the bathroom door open," and I'm like, "No,
Yeah. No, I don't like.
So funny. Yeah, everyone has their things.
it's your
It's like-
apartment. I'm gonna do it, but no."
Yeah. It's like all these personal things come out after you live with someone,
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh,
we're
yeah.
managing everything so far all right.
Oh,
like, yeah, pretty
Well,
good.
The dumbest thing with Chris, like he comes home from work, he works around a lot of like sawdust. They build a lot of stuff in the casino, so he just like drops the pants and then puts on like some cozy pants, but always right next to the bed. So and it would never stop. There's a pair next to the bed right now.
Oh my God,
And
so
to like
funny.
to like forget me to like I had to switch our sides of the bed. So when I walk into the room, that's
don't
my
have to
side of the
see
bed.
the-
So I don't have to see his damn pants on
Yeah.
the ground. It's just the littlest thing.
Readjusting.
It's like 10 years in
Yeah.
the making that will never change. She's just like, I'm not gonna
Have
do
you
it.
been with anyone, or does your husband snore?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Man, we in it. It's like, how do we change this?
You don't. You accept it and you just move
Never
on. 'Cause
sleep.
Yeah. Or a soft sleeper with a snorer. Is that the?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a great sleeper alone. Like, I lay
too.
down and I wake up when my alarm goes off if I'm by myself. I don't pee during the night. I don't do anything. I'm just like, this is like my precious time to like
Yeah.
regenerate. Like, I just knock out. Like, Witherows can sleep. He definitely like, gets up, go to the bathroom at night. He's snoring like crazy, like
Oh
the
my
movement
God.
and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, we're rolling over again. We're doing it. Here we go.
See, here's my thing is like I'm good sleeping
so
by
good.
myself in my bed. But when I'm sleeping next to somebody, I can like I have very scattered sleep because it's like I'm always like, oh my God, I need to roll over because I don't have my entire space to stretch out.
Yeah.
What if I'm snoring, or what if I what if this is going on? I get way too in my head and then I never have a good night's sleep.
It gets better with someone over time, but yeah, the snoring is a really tough thing to overcome. We have another couple friend, Bree and Brendan, love them, they're the cutest couple. And finally one night I was like, Bree, does Brendan snore? Trying to get some insider advice if she's dealt with this and how they solved it. She's like, oh my God. And she just starts going into every tool and trick and product she's tried and everything to get him to stop snoring. And he can hear we're talking about, and then he's kind of defensive and start the guys just get pissed off because there's nothing they can do about it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's a really tough conversation to have because you're you're upset that you're not sleeping because I hit you 3 times a night, but I'm up 7 times a night, counting the rhythm of your snores and wondering if you're breathing,
making sure you're alive.
God!
So
When a light sleeper and a heavy sleeper, man.
When I had my little fling in Australia, he was a heavy snorer, and I would just wake up, and of course I'm on America time in Australia, and I'm like,
that's
the fuck, dude.
So funny. Yeah, that's
he was just
something.
And I was like, how the are you alive? Hello?
Yeah. One thing I think is awesome, I was just saying this to a girlfriend the other day, one thing that's great about sleeping next to someone else, well, it's awkward, it takes adjustment at first, when you have a night terror or you wake up crying or something really intense in your sleep, it's so much nicer to have another human there that's whoa, you're okay, you're here, nothing's happening, instead of man, when you used to do that alone, you're just takes a lot longer to come back to reality and be oh, I'm fine, that actually didn't happen. I have a lot of drinking dreams sometimes, if it's on my mind a lot.
You're drinking
I
and
drank
you shouldn't
again.
be, and you wake up oh my God.
Yeah. I drank again and I broke my sobriety and oh my God. And those are such rocking dreams because they feel so real.
They're very vivid.
And it's always with my friends that I know, and I've let everyone down, and my mom's crying or something awful, and it's just and then if he's there, you feel better about having someone near you.
Or a cheating dream, you wake up, you're
oh
my
yeah,
God, no,
totally.
I didn't do that.
You're
Thank God.
it's still him.
Sorry, Clooney.
I get
good and bad dream.
all of my vivid dreams are they're bad. They're I got stabbed or something.
Yeah.
I just have really crazy
Intense.
those types
Too
of
much true crime podcast.
It must be. I don't know, because even I had them before I even was into true crime. I would have these really crazy vivid dreams. I think it has something to do with my mental health.
Well, I think it's all what we really are scared.
Yeah, whatever's going on in your
breaking
brain.
your sobriety is the worst thing that would really
so
even
when anxiety is super high or I'm really stressed out, that'll
husband or
come back.
him.
You know what's crazy is
getting
even
murdered.
Even as a
She's
little kid,
real fear.
real fear.
True crime.
As a little kid, I always thought that I would be killed by a serial killer. I don't know what the fuck that comes from, but yeah. So I have these crazy dreams, but I have this tough time. Maybe it's because I don't sleep next to somebody I love, where I come out of them and it takes me a long time throughout the day to just be
really shake it.
To really shake it off.
Yeah, especially with the times if you wake up and you've just relived it again in your head, man, that sticks for a long time through the day, or something else can flash it back again. Yeah.
With a lot of dreams that I have, I like to write them down, and then I like to write stories or books off of them. The book I'm writing right now is based off of a dream I had after I broke up with one of my exes, and I broke up, the British prick. Yes, he long story. Anyways, so
the story's an episode.
The story is an episode. But
Catfish
episode
8.
Insert here. Yeah. So I had this dream after
called
we
that
broke
Catfish?
up that police showed up at my house and took me in for questioning, and they showed me a picture of him, and then they showed me a picture of his wife, who he didn't tell me about. And they were like, do you think he could have killed somebody? And I said 2 weeks ago I would have said no. So I am writing a book based off of that dream.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So
Gone
cool.
Girl from the other woman's perspective.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Since the start of the year, MJ and I have been going through some tough stuff. So we've been trying to throw out self-love challenges. And you are very big on mental health awareness and everything.
Totally.
Do you have something that you could challenge our listeners to for self-love? Some of the ones we've done are
masturbate.
No, not that self-love.
Okay, that's
we did
real love.
we threw that out in a sex challenge. We
That's
throw out
awesome.
sex challenge too.
Sex
so if you want to
challenge
throw
too.
out a sex challenge, you can also do that.
Like a position or something?
Anything.
Okay. God.
everything.
So our
the
friend
one
Fanya.
podcast I do not send my parents. Like, hey guys, mom, I'm on TV.
I tell my
never
mom,
did
we
the
want-
Keeping It Casual podcast.
We want mom to listen, so let's do a self-love challenge.
So some of the stuff we've done is like, do something for yourself this week, like take a cooking class.
Instead of making a to-do list, make a
to-do
to-do
list.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anything that you would think you'd tell a friend who maybe just needs a
Or
little
like,
inspiration.
like one of your
totally.
staff members or something.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things to help self-love is like that recognition of awesomeness. It's so easy to get bogged down like what's not going great. So I try like in the morning to stop and like do the whole mirror thing and be like, what are 3 like awesome things I did yesterday? And or like 3 awesome things, like something about me, or like, wow, it's so great that I'm that way that it made this happen, or just like it really helps to like pick yourself up, like ignore for a moment like what didn't go great or what you've got to fix today or whatever, you know, and just be like, oh, these are 3 things of awesomeness that like I created yesterday, you know?
Yes.
So yeah,
What's one of the most awesome things that happened in the last week? Maybe it wasn't the most,
hearing
but
that
just
Shark Tank is gonna air.
Yes, man.
100% May 5th, man. I was like,
ABC.
that email, like I was walking to a meeting with a lawyer and I was like checking my email, you know, handling the last couple things, and I was like, oh my God, Shark Tank. And I got stopped. I'm like 10 minutes late to the meeting by the time I like read the whole email, and then I'm just like on cloud 9, but like also operationally freaking out in my head on how we're gonna handle the like influx of business.
Wow.
And then like this lawyer's like, what's going on? Why are you being so weird?
So you just got
way
this
too hyped for that.
news.
Yeah, just last Friday.
Okay, so that, yeah, because
Breaking news, guys.
Yeah.
Michelle sends it to me yesterday. She's like, talk about Shark Tank.
So
And I was like,
cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah, that was
yes.
such big news. Also,
It's amazing.
like subtle. That's insane, right? But also yesterday, Skinny Fats decided they're going to start carrying dope.
What?
I
So
love
you
Skinny
guys,
Fats.
yeah, they're amazing.
Well
Shout
done,
out to Skinny Fats. They
Yes.
are doing some big work. Like their whole mission too is around like bringing more smiles to the world.
Yes.
And, they're really awesome. So I'm super happy to be partnering with them. They just got their first delivery today, and you can find Sundays going on with Doughp Cookie Dough scoops, and soon we'll be getting our jars in all their
Yes.
stores too.
Hell
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Links
Their
to all
restaurants,
this
rather.
stuff.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Kelsey, this
So
has
much good
been
stuff.
This has been a great
Amazing.
episode.
So fun. I never want to leave.
I feel like you can share this one with your mom.
Yes.
I feel like mom
Approved. She likes the
Mama's
relationship stuff's
approved.
right. That's approved.
We got you a little thank you gift.
We
Oh,
did.
so sweet.
We did.
Your
and this
presence is a gift enough.
this is also courtesy of one of our great sponsors. who
Sassy
helped
I
us
should have
out.
just like shoved some of the dope I gave you back in this bag and been like, here you go.
this is really good.
Never tried this.
Sassy Cassie Creation. She does a lot of our swag, and
Yeah.
she made a little custom something for you.
Gives more depth to the magic.
They-
Stop. Is this a joke because I cut my hair off?
No, just kidding. You just have the most random swag, and I was
love
like,
it.
"Well, we're not giving her a shot glass or a wine
I
glass.
love it.
Anything glass. We have a lot of glass stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a.
Believe it or not, I drink sparkling water out of wine glasses.
Okay,
I love
perfect.
it.
I know.
You have to.
You have
gotta be
to feel a little
classy.
fancy now and then.
Yes.
You have
This
to.
is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a cute.
It's
cute
okay. You can still
casual
use the
podcast
brush.
I am
yeah.
growing my hair out, so this is more inspiration. This is my like daily look in the mirror. Like, you will use this one day.
Yeah, you were like, I remember my. Yep.
yeah.
I did a podcast and mom could listen because some of our
Gosh.
episodes I would not want my mom to listen.
I tell my mom about this podcast. There are some things a mother does not need to know
Like,
about
yeah.
her daughter.
Yeah.
don't listen. She's like, well, I'm getting around to listen. I was like, just don't.
Well, just
don't.
like my mom would more be like, "Oh, now the door's open. We should talk about all these things." It's like, tell me again about that position, and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like
You know
that
what?
just wouldn't be my thing.
I'm gonna tell my mom to listen to
It's
this
just
podcast.
yeah, it's just not a conversation.
Mom,
I
you
want.
can listen to the Doughp episode. No,
Yeah.
my mom listened to the Surviving a Music Festival episode. That one was pretty
Oh.
clean.
All right.
Damn, I wish I was on that one, guys.
Yeah.
We were
I was like
talking
a
about, like-
4-year festival veteran. Like went to like
Yes.
3 festivals a year.
Oh, for
Yeah.
selling dope or
No, like for selling my soul. Like back in my drinking days.
oh,
Just like
No, I
and
used
I'm
to
like,
just
you
attend.
sold dope at a
Yeah, oh,
That could be
right?
taken
There's
so many
lots
ways.
of dope going on there.
Yeah.
No,
it's
yeah.
kind of like my last music festival, but anyway,
So funny.
But also we want to make sure everybody can find you on the socials,
Yes.
on the interwebs. Drop all of the
all of your
links and
all of
handles
your
and
stuff.
things.
all of it.
Awesome. You can follow our social media awesomeness at Eat Doughp. And I know we've been saying it a lot, but it's spelled DOUGHP. Think of the word
Yeah.
cookie dough and then add a P at the end.
Yeah,
so
'cause
it's
it's
at
dope.
Eat Doughp. you can email me, Kelsey@eatdope.com. If you're like, yo, I want to talk to you.
And Kelsey,
I
you gotta spell Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Okay,
Is there any other way? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and then we're eatdope.com. But yeah, seriously, I love helping other entrepreneurs or people interested in starting companies. So
send your feedback.
Feel
from
free.
The episode,
Feel
too.
free. Feedback from the episode. I love hearing from people. So
And you can
cookie
buy
dough.
some dope if you aren't in San Francisco or Las Vegas. You can buy some dope.
go to our website. You can find the links to order. And if you're listening to this before May 5th, best place an order now, because when Shark Tank airs, it's going to be a little delay.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna be figuring it out.
down.
But yeah, go get some dope now.
And if you are in Vegas, May, you have a meetup?
Yes, thanks
Please
for the
tell me
shout
about
out.
that one,
So,
yes.
Sober in Vegas is an awesome Instagram account. I met up with the founder of that, Kim, and she's gonna run a meetup at Doughp called Sober in Vegas, and it's on May 17th. So we'll be
There you
doing a
go.
little sober party. We have mocktails and all that fun stuff.
Are you gonna be there?
Yes, I'm flying back for it,
You
so you
guys.
can come and meet me. at
VIP
Doughp.
meet and greet with the Shark
Yes.
Tank superstar.
Okay, so
Yeah, it'll
even
be
though I'm
pretty
not
awesome.
sober, I'm totally there. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it'd be
coming
great.
anyways.
Sober or not, just please
Yes.
don't come drunk.
no,
Please
Out of
no, show
respect for the
respect.
people who are
No.
Absolutely.
totally
coming in
will.
from the
I will
sober
come
community.
and have a cappuccino with my
Yeah.
picture on it or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, also
latte.
another
Picture on it.
Yes.
secret menu pro tip thing is get the cookie dough milkshake and add 2 shots of espresso.
What?
Like an espresso milkshake. It's so good. So yeah, we'll have those there.
All right. Well, that
Get hyped.
All right,
It's already
sold out.
You guys are so funny.
No, okay, that's something when we announced the live show, we were like, it's already sold out, and
Yeah.
it's just been our saying ever since.
great.
So
It's
we're
great.
extending it to
It
you.
manifests
goals.
it, right?
Yes. It's already
goals.
sold out.
All right.
awesome.
Well, Kelsey, thank you so
Thank
much. We
you
always
so
gotta say
much.
bye to everybody.
Yes.
All
Bye.
right.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Girl, that was fun.
Another fun conversation with you.
Yes, if you have any feedback, email us feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com.
My Twitter is Breemixed, BREEMIXED.
And I'm at MJ Radio Diva, any social platform.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Keeping It Casual Podcast. You get to see live videos, silly little photos of us.
All the dumb photos that we talk about. Anything
Yes.
photo-wise we talk about in the episode, it'll be there.
We look forward to hearing from you.
We'll be back with more gossip about nothing and
Everything. Bye.